All right, we are live. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to day three. Today we have got our special guest, Peggy McColl, New York Times best-selling author, and we also have, of course, Mina and Tammy. But you guys are in for a very great treat today. You guys today have somebody, Peggy McColl, which, as you guys know, Tammy's part of the Bob Proctor group. Mina, we've all studied, with Bob Proctor, and as well as the book Think and Grow Rich, right? Peggy, however, was literally the hip of Bob. They've been working together, sharing stage together for the last, I think, 40 years. Right, so not only are you gonna have the knowledge and the guidance of Peggy in regards to writing your books, if that's what you want to do, because as you guys know, being an author, it's something that is not only take your status to the next level, but she's also able to help you to become a New York Times best-selling author, as she's done herself. So today we want to start up very quickly just to share how we got to know Peggy and how we all came together. Well, first of all, Peggy, I'm not sure if you remember actually, but the first time we've ever encountered was at Bob Proctor 50th anniversary in New York. And it was in the bathroom. I remember saying, "Oh, I would love to write a book. What is your contact information?" He says, PeggyMcCall.com. And then that was our first encounter. Of course, I've seen you many times, but that was our first encounter. I think that was maybe, I guess, 10 years ago, at Bob's 50th anniversary in New York City. Um, how about you, Tammy? When's the last time? When's the first time you've encountered with Peggy?
I met Peggy at a Bob Proctor consultant training in 2019, and I've been working with the Power Life script since. It's absolutely powerful, and it's something that I recommend my clients now. And since you have your new app, we've all downloaded the app and using the Power Life script app. So thank you. It was a really great thing to discover this tool. So thank you for creating it.
Well, I forgot to mention that I've also was a student. Well, I'm a student of Peggy. I actually downloaded, well, not downloaded. I bought the New York Times best-selling course, and it really made becoming a New York Times bestseller easy. Sometimes you're in your head and you're like, "Oh my God, I want to do this, but it's going to take forever." And I just, went through the course, and I'm like, "It's so easy." Well, it's felt easy, right? So I just want to thank you for that as well. And of course, the Power Life script made a huge difference in my life. How about you, Mina?
It's a long story. Well, first of all, I knew Bob Proctor before Peggy, and I always dreamed to work with Bob Proctor. I know he's aging at the time that I knew him, but I say one day I want to work with him, and I want to call him and become his student. But one thing and another, he passed away before I have a chance to work with him. But I know that his best friend and great student is Peggy McColl. And so I just search on Google and see what are the programs that Peggy has. And I think last year, Peggy, I bought a program, the author program with you, and from there, I wrote my book, Start With Me, Who Am I? Discovering Yourself with a Law of Attraction. And this is with the help of Judy Auburn in Hasmart Publishing. Great service with Judy. So that's why I have my book already on Amazon. I'm so grateful for it. And since then, I contacted Peggy one day to serve her with her team in her events. So one event after another, I have a chance to learn from Peggy, and I'm so grateful for that. And I just love Peggy's enthusiasm, her energy, and wherever she goes, I see the sunshine around her. So I'm grateful for you today, Peggy, accepting our invitation to be our guest speaker. And if you don't know Peggy, she has in her library over 20 books, and they are translated into over, I think, 37 languages. So amazing fortune of books and knowledge. So today, if you have a chance to hop on, please hop on because the values and the knowledge that you learn today is amazing. So that is how I met Peggy.
I just wanted to add one thing. The reason why all three of us are here is because of Peggy's event. That's how I met Mina for the
Mm.
first time last year.
Wow.
I just moved to Ottawa last year, and then I met Mina once. We exchanged information, but it was just like this. And I saw Mina two, three times after, and then from Mina, she referred me to Tammy, and that's how this group came about. So just so funny how how just the energy and the attraction, the law of attraction, guided us together. So again, Peggy, once more time, thank you for speaking today.
Such a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And you know what? In just I just take just 30 seconds, Peggy, because my link number is number 2, which is networking. I have to network with people so that I can see it now that how I network and I connect people together. So
Yeah,
it's so amazing knowing about numerology. Anyway, anyhow,
that's
thanks,
why we're here.
Peggy.
Beautiful. All right, so Peggy, you've got the floor, and
Thank you.
yeah, we'll see you soon.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much, ladies. It's such a pleasure to be here with you. And I mean, I absolutely love the whole concept around powerful manifestations, which is really what the ladies decided to do this event on. So when they invited me to be a part of it, it was like an easy yes decision. And so what I'm going to do is I do have a presentation ready and I'm going to walk you through it, but I also want you to know that I'm absolutely happy to take any questions as well. So I'm going to go into the presentation. As I'm presenting, you have any question about anything, please write it down and we're definitely going to address any and all of your questions as well. And I also want you to understand what I'm about to share is an opportunity that's available to absolutely anyone, anyone. So make sure that you open your mind to what I'm about to share, because what I'm going to open your mind to is an opportunity, a huge opportunity for you to either make a difference, or I shouldn't say either, make a difference and potentially earn a lot of money as well, if that's something you want to do. You know, I was born and raised north of Toronto. I live in Ottawa now. I moved up here just over 30 years ago, but I was raised in a very poor environment. And the environment that I was raised in was a very dysfunctional and abusive environment. I'm not complaining or whining or moaning at all. It's just the way it was. And I'm grateful for it because of the gifts that it brought with us. And so when I was a young girl, a young woman of the age of around 20, I met Bob Proctor, and that was around January 1979. And I began to study success. And I really dove into the study because I knew there was more potential. I knew that the opportunity to manifest more was within me. Because if you think about what this event is called, Powerful Manifestors, you are a powerful manifester. We're all powerful manifestors. This isn't a designation that's only been, anointed to a select few in the world. Everyone is a powerful manifester, but some people aren't using it. They're not using the potential that's within them. But when you understand the power that you have, the power of the universe, and you work in harmony with it, there's no end to what you can accomplish. And it doesn't matter where you were raised, how old you are. It doesn't matter any of it, as you'll see as we go through my presentation. So I'm going to switch over to a PowerPoint presentation that I've created for you. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see exactly where I'm going. So let's go to my entire screen. So we'll go to share screen. And at the same time, I will head over here to show you my presentation. So right now you should be looking at a slide that says, get ready for an exciting session, AI and the Modern Author, a game-changing partnership. And I suppose if you can't see this right now, you probably, maybe Ruth would be telling me, but I'm assuming you're seeing it. So that's good. Now, why am I choosing? I could have presented on 100 different subjects today, but I chose this one because of the significance or the importance of the timing of right now. Like AI, which stands for artificial intelligence, is very much prevalent in the world. And it's a topic that a lot of media is talking about, and not always in good light. Now, I'm here to share with you that AI can be used for good, the greater good. It can help you. It can help you do good in the world as well. And it's like with anything, it's the attitude that you have about it. So sure, there are people that are, moaning, whining, complaining about what AI isn't or is and whatever. And that's just the way they look at the world. That's the view that they have of the world. That's not the way I see the world. I see the world as a grand opportunity and as a great place to share, to contribute, to benefit others, to help others. And so that's the way I view it. Now, I want to show you a little intro that I had created for today. I'm just going to play this and I'm going to explain this to you in a minute.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ada, and it's my pleasure to introduce a very special speaker today. Please welcome Peggy McColl, a New York Times best-selling author who has penned an impressive 22 books spanning both fiction and non-fiction genres. But Peggy is not just an accomplished author. She's also a renowned success teacher and mentor, guiding countless individuals on their journey to achieving their dreams. Today, Peggy is here to open your eyes to an exceptional opportunity. She's going to reveal how you can leverage the incredible capabilities of artificial intelligence to significantly enhance your business and boost your earnings. Whether you're an author, an entrepreneur, or simply someone looking to tap into the potential of AI, you're in for a treat. Peggy will show you what's possible and how you can make the most of these cutting-edge technologies. So, I encourage you to listen closely to her every word and be ready to follow through with any recommendations she makes. This could be the game-changing moment you've been waiting for. And now, without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Peggy McColl. Take it away, Peggy.
All right. Thank you, Ada. That's what I called her. I called her Ada. Now, that was AI. That wasn't a human. There's a pretty girl that we're seeing on the screen, but it was all done with AI. And you know what it cost me to do that? Nothing. It's one of the wonderful abilities of AI.
Hello.
So let's go here. So if we think about one of the artificial intelligence tools that's being used today for entrepreneurs, online business owners, authors as well, is something called ChatGPT. And it has shown to be the fastest growing application in history. In only 2 months, over 100 million users started using it. Now, there's more than that now. There's hundreds of millions of users. So a lot more and more people are using it. Now, I feel if you're not tuned in to what's going on, you're definitely missing the boat. So even though I created this webinar, and sure, it can be for authors, entrepreneurs, coaches, business owners, etc., it really is for anyone. Anyone that's willing to be open to a new idea to do something really exciting that can potentially lead to you earning money if that's what you want. And I'm going to explain that in a minute. So what in the world is AI and why pay attention right now? Well, AI, artificial intelligence, was created by humans. So it's not like a computer. All the information that you're getting or gathering or creating out of AI is coming from humans. And even when you go to ChatGPT and you ask it questions, and I'll explain that in a minute, or you ask it to write something for you or edit something for you, if it's creating something for you or answering a question, it is simply going to a database of content that was entered by humans from humans. Okay, so that's what it really is. So you must bring your common sense to the table. So if I go to AI and I ask it to help me either do an outline for something that I'm creating or write a script, a video that I want to deliver, and if it isn't presented in a way that really works for me or is written in a style that I resonate with, I change it. And this is where common sense becomes a part of this as well. So AI is not replacing our creativity. I want you to think of AI as a partner, as a support person. It really is a tool that's designed to help you. It can save you a truckload of money. It can save you a huge amount of time and its resources and tools. Now, I use OpenAI, which is ChatGPT, and I actually do have the paid version, but there's a free version. And even the paid versions of AI are minimal. There's not a lot of money involved. Like the version that I have for ChatGPT costs me a total of $20 a month. And there's no end to the number of questions or the requests that I can make of AI. Now, I don't know if you've ever had an assistant for $20 a month who is willing to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never gets tired, doesn't call in sick, doesn't show up late, doesn't do crappy work. Like, where do you find that? And you'll see in a moment where I've hired people, outside resources, to do certain things that AI now does that cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars. And what am I paying now? $20 a month. That's why everybody needs to be on this AI board. Now, the slide that you're looking at right now on the very far left is the very first book that I ever wrote. That was over 20 years ago. The one in the middle is a book that I wrote and released just a couple months ago. And the one on the right-hand side, Life by Design, is a book that I released on Monday of this week. I got the idea last Thursday to do the book Life by Design, Mastering Manifestation with the Power Life Script. Now, this book, you'll find it on the front page of my website. Okay, now I want you to get this, okay? Today is Wednesday. Last Thursday, the idea popped in my mind. And now you're looking at not only a cover, but a book that is done, that's out there, that even though I'm giving it away for free, earns revenue. It's a money producing tool. When you know how this works, you can, bam, move into action and have things happen in relatively short periods of time. If you look at the middle book, Today is Cash, that was a book idea that I got. I put together the book. I had it ready in a matter of a few days. Then I got the idea, this is over 100 pages, 108 pages. I got the idea to release it on Amazon. And so I had the entire cover design, front, back, and spine, had the entire interior laid out, and had it posted up on Amazon. And it is a source of income. And I'm going to explain a little bit more about that one in a minute. But what I want you to get and understand is this: it does not have to take years to write a book. And you can write another book and another book and another book and another book. Why would you do that? Because they can be beneficial to you as an individual. It could be something that you're writing a book to leave a legacy. It could be a book that you're using to get more leads in your business. It could be a book that you're selling online, but you're selling it in different ways. Like I worked with one client. I helped him package up his ebook, wasn't even a physical book, packaged it up, put together a special offer, started marketing it online, and generated $378,000 by selling 14,000 copies of a $27 ebook that cost him nothing to ship and nothing to print. Okay. Who can do that? Anyone can do that. Absolutely anyone. But what happens with authors is they start thinking about creating a book and they start thinking, well, I don't even know where to begin. Or they think that they can't write, that they're not a great writer, or that they think that the editing is going to be crap, or they're going to have to spend a lot of money on editing, or they have to understand what it takes to succeed and follow through. Well, I understand these challenges because I was an author who was ignorant, meaning I didn't know. And Ruth alluded to this when she was introducing me and talking about this at the beginning of the call. If you want to get to a destination and you don't know how to get there, the best thing you can do is find someone who's been there, knows how to get there, and can guide you and show you the way, right? I mean, this is how anyone who's ever created success in any endeavor, and every endeavor, has done it. So there's not insurmountable challenges. They're challenges that anyone can overcome. Now, can AI help with earning money? Absolutely. I just gave some examples. I wrote a book back in like 2001 and released it in 2022. It was months before I was earning any money on that book and had outlaid a significant amount of money. Well, not so with AI, not anymore. It definitely doesn't have to be that way. Your return on investment can come to you relatively quickly. But this is where I love helping people. I love helping people see where the opportunities are. Like, we live in an abundant world, whether you believe that or not, we do. And what I'm talking about is a $1 trillion industry that anyone who can fog a mirror can get into. And what I see time and time again, when I first started working with clients, so whether it's a private mentoring client or somebody that's in one of my programs, is I see that they're leaving money on the table. Now, this isn't about greed. None of it is about greed. I am not about greed. It's all about service. It's all about up leveling others, helping, making a positive and beneficial contribution to the world. And by doing so, you get rewarded. How do you get rewarded? Sometimes it's monetarily, which is a wonderful way to be rewarded, because you put something out of value, you will get something back as value. That's the simple law of cause and effect. Law of cause and effect, which is the law of laws, as Emerson said. So just within the last few months of using AI, and of course, I've been an author for well over 20 years and been on the New York Times bestseller list, etc. I started using AI to help me with the writing part, to help me with the editing part, with helping with writing a description of the book, with putting the marketing copy on the web pages, with the promotional pieces, with any scripts, video scripts to promote these things. This is where you can use AI. And I'll show you a slide in a moment that's going to help you understand how I have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars with getting that kind of help in the past. Not anymore. Not anymore. It is so exciting. So the potential sources of earnings or income can come from, you can put a book on your website. Like you can go to todayiscash.com and you will see you can buy that book, Today is Cash, for $27. And you know what? People do. I bundled with a whole bunch of other bonus gifts that people can get. And so why would they spend $27 to get an ebook? Because of the entire package. The bundling is important. How you bundle is important. The book is also on Amazon.com and Amazon.ca and Amazon.co.uk and every other Amazon site in the world. What does that mean? Multiple sources of income. It's the 4th of the month right now. Just a few days ago, I went into my bank account. What do I see? Deposit, 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 deposit from Amazon. Why? Because I self-published my books, put them up on Amazon. They're available in multiple different formats, and I get paid with regularity, and it all flows right into my bank account. So you could have your PDF version of the book online, and you could also have it on Amazon. You could have it in Kindle, paperback, hardcover. You could create a program from it. That's something else that I've done with many of my books. This is what I teach authors, is how to extend beyond the book into multiple revenue sources. I see these opportunities all the time with the clients that I work with in my private mentoring. And so that's something that anybody can do. So if you're not already on board, and I know the ladies that put together this event are, if you're not already on board with using AI, you're absolutely missing the boat. It's not going away. It's like when cell phones came on the scene. Like at first they were big clunky things, not a lot of people had them. They were wildly expensive. And of course, it wasn't long before everybody had a cell phone. My grandson has a cell phone. And nowadays it's like that with AI. But you know what's great about AI, besides, a number of the things that I've already mentioned and will mention, is the price, the investment. It's so cheap. It's so inexpensive to get in, and you could be having a return if you follow the right guidelines within a relatively short time. Now, I love doing things quickly. Always have, always will. I think that's one of the things that Bob Proctor and I definitely had in common. We get an idea and bam, we're on it. We're rocking and rolling and we're moving in that direction. So this is one of the great things about AI. It's like the fast track, the fast track to success. It's the fast productive track. Remember, the universe loves speed. I got an idea for a book. A matter of days later, it's on my site. People are downloading it. People are buying my program that the book references. Same thing with Today is Cash. Same thing, a matter of days. This is not like you have to go to university for several years to figure out how to craft a certain trade. This is something that you can learn relatively quickly. And if you're willing to invest in yourself, you can actually produce some really great results. Like I look at AI today as the game changer. Like I think back to when the World Wide Web first opened up. I worked for the very first internet service organization in our country. I was hired to go and work there. And I remember when a headhunter, like a recruiter, called me at home, and I had just given birth to my son. And she said, there's this company and they're doing internet, like the World Wide Web, and they need somebody to run a division. And I'm thinking of presenting you. And I said, what is www? I mean, we didn't even know how to spell it back then. And I got involved right from the beginning. And as soon as I got involved in AI, or not AI, in the World Wide Web, I knew it was going to be big. I knew it was going to be a game changer for the world. I started registering domain names right away. I became a domain nameaholic. But you know what I love about the web? What I love about technology is the ability it provides for all of us to connect together, to serve others, and to learn, like to be a student as well. And you don't have to go anywhere. Like here we are today, all of us sitting in the comfort of our home or our office, and we don't have to travel anywhere. We can do this from the comfort of our home. That's why it's such a game changer. Now, the time that AI can save you by taking an idea and making it a result is absolutely staggering. That's one of the things that I absolutely love about it. Like I go to AI, I use my AI all the time, all day long for many different things. And if I get an idea to do a free event and I'm thinking about the concept or the theme for it, I'll go into AI and I'll say, hey, I'm thinking about doing an event. I want to focus on this. And do you have any suggestions for what it could be called? And then bam, within like seconds, I get an answer. And then if I like the idea, I say, okay, well, here's the topics that I'm thinking about organizing and putting into the presentation. Could you expand on these? I push the enter button. 60 seconds later, I've got a full-on complete overview of what it is. And you can work with that. So it saves you a huge amount of time. Now, I know because I've written books. I've been in this industry for many, many, many years. And before I got into doing books with AI, I had 21 books out there in the world, mostly in the nonfiction category, although I do have a book series called Savvy Wisdom that started with Savvy Wisdom 2, and Savvy Wisdom from Beyond that's now being made into a movie. And could I use AI to help write the screenplay? Sure. I'm not going to because we're hiring a professional screenplay writer to do that. But prior to AI, it was done by, investing the time and the energy and hiring editors and working with ghostwriters perhaps or whatever, to get the work done. But now you can use AI. Now you still may want to use a ghostwriter or you still may want to use an editor or whatever. But AI can help you with many other aspects of being a successful author. Because I learned, very grateful to have learned this early on, that as an author, you got to learn how to market your stuff. If you don't know how to market, you're going to be left in the sidelines. And that's not where you want to be. We write the books because we want to help people. So before I got involved in AI, one ghostwriter, I paid $25,000. That's US, by the way, for any Canadian on the line, to write one of my books called Your Destiny Switch. My ideas, my concepts, my techniques. She wrote it and I paid her $25,000. Well, you know something? You can do that with AI. You can put in your concepts, your ideas, your stories, your techniques, and have it write chapters for you as well. And if you don't like it, ask it to rewrite it. Ask it to make changes. What does it cost you? Well, if you're using the version that I have, $20 a month. So what's the difference between $20 a month and $25,000? Even if it took you a couple months to do it. Hello? I mean, it doesn't take a mathematician to figure out this is a good deal. I also paid a ghostwriter to write one of my other books, 21 Distinctions of Wealth. I paid $15,000. Why only $15,000? It was a smaller book. It was a significantly smaller book. I paid $25,000 to a ghostwriter to write a book for me called The One Thing. I paid $20,000 to a ghostwriter to write one of my books called Viral Explosions. I paid $25,000 to another ghostwriter to write my book Darn Easy. So as you can see, this does not include any editing costs that I've incurred over the years from 20 plus books. I spent $110,000 in ghostwriting fees alone, never mind the editing costs for other books. Now, yeah, granted, I've earned millions of dollars as well, but that's another story. But these were expenses. Now, before AI, when I first started understanding how important it is the way material is written for promotion, for building your following, for getting clients on board, I used to hire copywriters. And I paid a copywriter $800 to do one email for me when I first understood that there's a certain style or a technique for writing emails if you're promoting something. And then once I realized how important that was, I studied it myself, but I also have in the past, hired copywriters and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. Specifically between October 2017 and 2019, I had a copywriter on my team. And I went and looked this up before I finished the presentation that I paid $293,000 to, just under $294,000. That was just for copywriting expenses. Now, my best guess is I've easily spent or invested at least $500,000 into marketing copy. Not anymore. You know who I don't hire anymore? A copywriter. Why? Because I have AI. So where did AI contribute for this book, Today is Cash? The title. I got the idea for the book and what I wanted to cover and what I wanted to create as far as a title and a subtitle, and it helped me clarify that. My idea, I worked with AI to come out with the title. The back cover copy, I asked AI to write that. Some of the content, expanding on the content, my ideas, again, this is not completely written by AI, my ideas, my content, and it helped me shape the material for the book. Then from that book, I created a program, and AI helped me with the name of the program, the description of the program, and then I wanted to promote it to my own database. So AI wrote the email announcements, wrote some ads, did some social media posts just to get started, just to get it out there in the world. And within a matter of a day, I made it an international bestseller, which meant it was a top seller in multiple countries in the world. From one idea to international bestseller in a matter of days. Now, could you have done that years ago? Well, maybe, but certainly not the way that we're doing it today. Now, I work with these two ladies, Joan Hing King and Stephanie Aldrich, are private clients of mine, and both of them have used AI to help them with completing their book. Now, Stephanie has several books. Joan, this is her first book. All her stories, all her examples, all her concepts, but she worked with AI to help create the content. And the big plus is that it's done quickly. Like the universe loves speed. You can get this done so fast, it can actually make your head spin. Now, you may already be thinking, oh, what can I write? What do you love? What are you passionate about? And if you're a business owner, maybe you're a coach, what could you write that could be significant? Now, you may already have written a book. Like the ladies that introduced me today, you may have already written a book. Well, I've written several books, but you can write another one and another one and another one. I was in a team meeting the other day with the people that work with me that I'm very blessed to work with, and we serve others in the world. And we're talking about an idea of putting together a methodology that I follow. And I went into chat AI and I said, this is what we're talking about. And you write your requests as if you're talking to a consultant or as if you're talking to an expert. And you ask them, like, what do you think about this? Now, I know AI doesn't think, it's not a human, but it gathers information. It goes into its database, which is vast, and it pulls out the information and it comes up with ideas or expands on your idea. And that's what it does. So it came out with an idea to do something called the McColl method, which is my methodology for success. And the team really liked it. And so they suggested, we'll do a book on the McColl method, help people understand what it is that you do that has helped you create the success that you're experiencing today. It's like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. See, I can do that with AI. It's just a matter of making a decision that you're going to do it and get on with the work. So when I got the idea to do this book, Today is Cash, and I work with AI to not only create the finished product and the marketing materials to support it, it also helped me create the sales page. This sales page, Today is Cash, all the copy that's there. Like, discover the secret to redefine your wealth and make every moment count. That's what's called a benefit-oriented kind of statement, right? And when you ask AI to write in a certain way, or to write a sales page, or to write part of a sales funnel, which I know Ruth had talked about yesterday, it'll write any part of it, all of it, some of it, pieces of it, whatever it is that you want. And so you can get AI to do that for you. So you could also have AI help you with writing articles, creating blogs, podcast content, designing copy for your sales letters, landing pages, opt-in pages, email sequences for your funnels, social media posts, video scripts, editing your book, creating content for your book, helping you organize your content, back cover copy, promotional pieces for your launch, bonus gift ideas, book summaries, yours or others, professional images, website presentations, program names. I mean, I can go on and on and on. This is just some of the ideas that I listed here that where AI can help you. I also found another application because one of my clients, we were on a call together and she said to me, do I have to have a professional photo taken? I said, no, you don't have to do anything. I said, there's AI resources out there that will allow you to take a photo and they'll actually dress you. So if you're looking at the photo on the left or the one that's in the middle, my husband took that photo. I was sitting in the backyard and I was playing with this tool, this AI tool. So I went into AI and I uploaded some photos that were just on my phone, just photos of me, out in the boat, or photos of me playing with my grandchild, or photos of me, whatever, walking the dogs, something like that. And it put that dress on me, the necklace, the earrings. I don't own that necklace and earrings. It put that on me, right? So what it does is it creates a professional looking photo for you. If you don't have time to get a professional photo shoot done, it can do that as well. There's a website or an AI tool called Align Now. It can do a website for you in a matter of seconds, like 30 seconds. So I found this as an app. Okay, what can you do? Okay, to create a website, it asks you questions. I put the content in and boom, out pops, the website. These are the things that you can do. It can do video cloning. You can actually have Chat GPT write a script for you, teach it the service that you want, or teach it your voice, and it'll create the meditation for you. It can either use another voice, like let's say, like when you watch that video introduction of me today with that blonde woman with the long hair and she had the accent, I could have had her not have an accent. I could have had it be a man. I could have had it be a different woman do the introduction. You can do all kinds of things with this. Now, why would you want to do any of that? Because it helps you. It helps you serve others and helps you look professional because you get one chance to make a first impression out there. So let me ask you a question. Do you think it would be helpful if you had someone show you how to effectively use AI? Oh, of course it would. Like when I first became an author, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And I remember a friend of mine said, you know what, Peggy, you really need to learn about book marketing or you're going to hurt yourself. So I did. I invested in a program. I learned how to effectively market my books. I chose to use the internet because I loved the flexibility, the opportunity. The internet meant I didn't have to be vacant from my son's life and be home as a mom. And so that's why I started to use AI and started to invest in programs to learn how to effectively do this. But I can help you with this. I can absolutely help you with this. I can help you with the writing process. I can help you with the extend beyond the book into creating more sources of income. There's many different ways that I can help you. But you've got to get in harmony with your way of being. That's your consciousness of earning money. Now, this is another part of what I teach. Is say, I believe that if you don't have the mindset right, it won't matter what you're doing because you'll likely sabotage. And it's certainly not what you want to do. You don't want to be sabotaging your results. So what does it really mean to get in harmony with earning money? We have to determine how much would you love to be earning? And the truth is you can set that number to be any number that you want. You simply ask yourself, what would I love? And here's the most important part. You do not have to know how you're going to accomplish that. I remember back in the 1990s, and I had incorporated my company in 94 and I started doing seminars and I started working with clients and started working with organizations. And I remember setting the goal to be a multimillionaire. And I knew that in order to experience the result, that what's necessary is to get in harmony with the result, meaning you have to live as if and act as if it's already done. And so that's what I did. I started to declare that I am a multimillionaire to myself privately in front of the mirror, speaking to myself. I wrote it in my Power Life script. This is the way my life is. This is how I'm living my life. Did it happen overnight? It did in consciousness, yes. And it was a matter of time before my results started to reflect the mental attitude that I had of mind. And that's what happens with our life, is our life is simply a reflection of what's going on in our mind. So if there's something in your life that you're not happy with, or there's something in your life that you're not in love with, then understand that it's because of the way that you are or the way that you were. but don't judge it. Don't be upset about it. In fact, I would suggest celebrate the awareness, because with the awareness, you can choose to create something different. You can choose to create ideal results. You can choose to create a phenomenal destiny, which I believe is absolutely your birthright. It's everyone's birthright to live in abundance. And if you're not living in abundance right now, that's okay, because you can step into abundance in consciousness and be experiencing it in your reality. So when I think about in the 1990s, when I decided I am a multimillionaire, I became one in consciousness first, and then became one in reality. And I was raised in a very poor family. I remember going to school in ripped up, grubby looking clothes and felt embarrassed about the way that I looked. You see, I just thought that was my destiny back then, to live in poverty, to struggle. I saw my parents struggle. I saw many people struggle because that's the way it was. But it doesn't have to be that way. Now, I'm grateful that my mind and my consciousness was open to what was possible when I was 20. And like a dog with a bone, I just grabbed a hold of these ideas and I studied them like a scientist so that I could deeply understand, so that I could apply and then reap the benefits. But there's something common in those that have created phenomenal success. What's common is they have a desire. So you have to decide, do you have a desire for positive change in your life? I would think that if you're watching this, you very likely do. Okay, great. You got to understand that you don't have to know how, but you have to invest. You got to invest yourself. You got to invest in your energy. You have to invest in money and study. And this is part of the process. If I hadn't done that, I would not be sitting here and sharing with you about how to create success in your life. It's like Bob Proctor used to introduce me and say these words: by their fruits, you will know them. So what does that mean? By results, right? I believe that Bob and I became good friends because he saw that not only was I a serious student, because there's many serious students in the world, but I was applying it. You got to apply it. If you're not applying it, it means diddly squat, right? You've got to be applying in order to benefit from it. Now I'm working with, I mentioned already, I work with clients in a private mentoring capacity. I don't always have space for it, but I love doing private mentoring. So I had this client, she lives in Florida, and she's not involved in technology per se, but she is in landscaping and she worked for someone else. And she got an idea that she wanted to create her own business. And she had never been in business for herself before, had always worked for other people, and was fearful of going into business for herself. But she invested in private mentoring with me because she knew I could help her. So we're having a call together and she said, I'm thinking about starting a landscaping business. I said, great. That sounds like a wonderful idea. You definitely have the experience, the knowledge, the passion for this subject. So she said that she started to talk to a few people about it, and they were interested. They said, okay, well, where can we get more information? And I said, well, if you want to move on this idea, I suggest get up a web page. She's like, well, I don't know how to do that. And I said, well, let me explain how to do it. And it's simple. Like, we're on a 30-minute call. This all occurred within a 30 minutes. And I told her, I said, here's what you do. And I went onto ChatGPT. I shared my screen with her and I showed her what I was doing. And I said, this is all you need to do. Came up with a name. She got a domain name. And within a matter of hours, she had all the content she needed to set up a web presence to start taking on clients. And she's working now with her own clients, doing stuff that she absolutely loves, and now can see where the growth is. She can now see how easy it is. It wasn't that easy before, but it's that easy now. A lot of people are being ignorant about what this opportunity is. And I feel like this is a wave. It's a wave that we should all be riding. It's not that it's going to go away or crash. It's not. But more and more people are going to start to use it. More and more people are going to recognize the benefit. And that's why I am personally really excited about what you can do as an author, as an entrepreneur, as somebody who wants to make a difference in the world. So AI isn't just a tech trend. It's not something that may be here today and be gone tomorrow. I really believe it is a financial revolution. It truly is a financial revolution. You'll see people that are going to become tech millionaires, maybe even billionaires. But what's great about tech is it doesn't take sick days, doesn't make excuses, doesn't take holidays, doesn't have off days, will not ignore you, does not charge you huge amounts of money, and certainly doesn't judge you. You know, one of the times that I was working with AI and I'd ask it a question about something and it would give me an answer and I'd see the answer and it wasn't quite what I was looking for. And then I would say, okay, not really what I'm looking for, maybe on a little bit of the right track, gave it more information, spit something out. And then after it sent me the message, it said, is this better? Is this response better? I love that it does that. It's incredible that it does that. It does feel like when you're working with AI, it does feel like you're working with a human. But as I said, it's information from humans, but it is a bot. So it is a wave. And I really feel we're going to be hearing many stories about people, young and old, that are from many different parts of the world. Anyone who has internet connection, anyone that has a desire, who will become the next what's called millionaires or tech millionaires. And look at Jeff Bezos. We know that name now. Why? Because he acted on an idea. Sarah Blakely acted on an idea. You act on an idea. And so you have to ask, you know, would you love to be one of these millionaires? Maybe you don't want to be recognized. Maybe you just want to do it because you want to earn the money and you want to have a nice life and you want to live financially free. And if so, great. It doesn't even matter what the reason is. It really doesn't matter. And so AI, I feel, is like the missing link for coaches, entrepreneurs, teachers, content creators, anyone that's looking to create a presence online where you can use it for many, many things. But these are primary areas that it can help you significantly with creation, with editing, with marketing, publicity. You know, when it was decided that my book series, Savvy Wisdom, would become a movie, you know, I started using AI to come up with topics for press releases, you know, ideas, because if you want to get the media's attention, you got to grab their attention. You got to come up with the idea. You got to come up with a concept for their show segment, right? You can't expect them to do it. The more prepared you are, the better it's going to go, and the more likely you'll get the results that you're looking for. So I see AI as more of a solution, you know, providing you solutions to potentially what you may have as a problem. I like to call things opportunities, not problems, but you can call it whatever you will. So why now? Why should we jump on board with the AI wave now? Because it's not a fleeting concept or idea. It's here to stay. It is right now the forefront of technology. And the only prerequisite to use it is, do you have a desire? And if you have the desire, well, you can get on board with that. So the huge advantages I see, there's many, 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 many huge advantages, is really the amount of money it can save you. Because as you can see from a couple different examples that I gave you today, how much money it saved me, hundreds of thousands of dollars, literally save you so much time. I can't tell you how long it would have taken if I had to ask my copywriter to write stuff. I'd get it weeks later, sometimes next month. Who wants to wait? I certainly don't. And that's why I say AI is not taking sick days and doesn't make you wait. You get your answer, bam, like that. Just like that. Ask the question, seconds later, you have an answer. And not only that, get things done right, professionally, and be earning the kind of money you would love. You know, I have found by using AI, I'm earning money in a matter of days. I mean, it's just so extraordinary. So the process really comes down to, well, what are your needs? What are your desires? And then allowing, you know, guidance like mentor. And I'm going to share with you how I can help you on how to effectively use AI. And then you get results. Like, it's absolutely phenomenal. And what I love is it doesn't discriminate. Doesn't matter where you live, doesn't matter what your age is, doesn't matter your education, your sexuality, your experience, your accomplishments or lack thereof. Doesn't matter what religion you are, what your beliefs currently are, where you live in the world, your existing writing ability or not, whether your book is out or not, fiction, nonfiction, whether you think you can or think you can't, doesn't matter. None of it matters. I've worked with authors all over the world. English is not their first language. And AI can help them, can definitely help you become a better writer too. So today's AI powered world creates these new opportunities. And they're estimating that in like only just over 6 years that they anticipate that this will be a $1 trillion business. Now, what if you just had a little piece of that? What if one of your ideas took off? I mentioned a couple examples earlier of a $27 ebook. I told you that Today is Cash is available on todayiscash.com. Let's say only 100,000 people bought that. 27 times 100,000, do the math. What if you put it on Amazon? What if you only sold it for 99 cents? I know of another author who sold her book for 99 cents, sold a couple million. Do the math on that, right? And what if you had multiple sources of income? Like each one of my books are multiple sources of income. And I've now done 23 of them with the new one, Life by Design. And yeah, it's only a little lead generator book of 30 pages. It's still an income earner. It produces revenue for me as well. So if you're looking to take your results, and perhaps your income level is one of them, to another level, I can help you. And I'm going to tell you in a minute how to help you. And then I'm also going to open up for questions next. So you might be thinking, well, this all sounds great, but how can I implement this? Well, I'll show you. I'll show you how to do it. That's the great benefit of having someone who's done it, who understands it, who's definitely into technology, as I have been for pretty much my career. I graduated from high school in 1977 and started working on a mini computer back then, and then moved to microcomputers, and then moved to word processors, and then smart card technology and telecom and datacom and internet technology. I've just been on the technology train ever since I graduated school. I love change, but more importantly, I love how it can help you do what you do better, help you do what you do faster, and how it can help you do what you do effectively. So if you're ready to revolutionize either your writing process or your business and publish high quality books or materials in less time, I can help you. But you have to be ready. I think it's important. It's like that quote, like no one is going to experience success until they're ready for it. You have to decide you're ready. What does it take to get ready? A decision. I'm ready, Peggy. I'm ready. I'm born ready. That's what I always say. I'm born ready. Now, do you want to gain a competitive edge in your market and reach a global audience with your work? There are a lot of people who have put their stake in the ground online and attempted to be authors or coaches or start their business or whatever. And that's great. I think it's great. I think it's wonderful. More and more people, because there's no more barrier to entry into being online and calling yourself an expert. You don't have to go to university for years and years and years and get a degree. Anybody can do it at any time. Nothing wrong with going to university. Do not misinterpret what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that at all. I work with many well-educated people, but what I help people with is changing their financial situation that positively changes their life by doing great work in this world. So would you like to be amongst the trailblazer entrepreneurs that are leveraging AI and elevate their careers to unprecedented results? Yeah, absolutely. This is like no-brainer stuff. Of course, would be the answers that I would expect with those questions. And are you ready to take the first step towards transforming your life and bank account with the power of AI? And maybe you're already using AI. You might be thinking, well, I'm already doing that. Are you using it effectively? Have you thought of all different things that you can do? I'm an idea machine. I'm constantly thinking of ideas. And part of what I teach in the programs that I know both Mina and Ruth have referenced my programs is access to me. Q&A calls. Every week I do Q&A calls. So AI is here now. It's not the only thing that I do, by the way. It's part of what I do. But success stories, and more of them, will be created. They're going to be created. And I would love for you to be one of them. But you got to jump on board. So how do I help people? I help people with a program that's called AI Author Advantage. Do you have to be an author to get in? No, you don't have to be. If you are, that's fine. What if you're not an entrepreneur? That's fine. Author Advantage is to show you the potential of how AI can help you with being an author, help you if you're already an author, and extend beyond it to create even more revenue. But time is our most precious resource. It really is. The clock's ticking. And you can go there now. What's great about the program is I recorded all the content. It's there now. As soon as you register for the program, you'll get immediately into the program. And 4 times a month, I have open Q&A calls, and you can ask questions the entire hour if you want. I'm there to address the questions. And if you can't get on the live calls, submit your questions and I'll answer them anyway. But that's what AI Author Advantage is. Now, I'm sure you'd agree that there's no wealth without risk. Like, I know that I created the wealth in my life because I was willing to invest in myself and I was willing to take the action. So this statement, there's no wealth without risk and no progress without action, is absolutely true. And it is absolutely true for anyone that has ever created success in their life. It's part of it. Risk is part of it. But how risky is it? The program's only $1,000, and you could potentially be earning thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. And the truth is, there's no limit. So what's the risk there? Hardly any risk whatsoever. So there's many, many different ways that you can earn money using AI. And as I said, a book can be one of them, but I can show you the way. So you just go to AIAuthorAdvantage.com and you can join. Candace Murray is a lovely lady. She lives in Australia, who joined my AI program. And she sent me this email. She said, I'm loving the course. I'm already using ChatGPT in so many ways since I watched Peggy's recording a couple of days ago. Amazing. She sent that unsolicited. I didn't ask her to send it. She just sent it. So check it out. If it feels like something you want to do, great. Get on board, and I'd love to work with you. Now, what I'd also love to do is address any questions that you may have. So this is where we can enter. Oopsie. How do I stop sharing my screen here? Let's stop the sharing. There we go. Stop screen. Did I do that right, Ruth?
Yes, you were perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. All right, great. I wanted to make sure that we had lots of time to address any questions that people have. Maybe you and Mina and Tammy have some questions that have come up while I was presenting as well. So any questions, there's no limit to what you can ask me. I'm happy to address them.
All right. So the first question that we have is, there was somebody from, let me see here. So which AI application do you recommend?
The one that I use more often than not is called openai.com. And it's a chat GPT. It's called chat GPT. There are other versions of chat GPT that are available online. For example, Microsoft has a browser called Edge, and Edge has incorporated AI into the search capabilities. Now, OpenAI, what that does is it goes to a database of materials that has been input, and it gathers the information. And sometimes, and I'm sure, Ruth, you've probably seen this, sometimes you'll get an answer that'll say something like, as far as the knowledge that I have up to September 2021. Have you seen that as an answer?
Yeah.
As far as the knowledge that I have, or the information that I have up to September 2021, this is what I would say. But what if you're asking a question or looking for an answer that may be more current with what's going on in the world in 2023 or 2022? This is why Microsoft Edge, using their chat GPT or their AI version, will not only give you an answer, but it uses current search capabilities too. So it's not necessarily more advanced, but that's the difference. But I will say this, I've used both, and I much prefer OpenAI to the Microsoft Edge version. I've used them both. And that's another thing that anyone can do is, if you're using ChatGPT to get answers, you could try both. Like, let's say you're looking for a specific answer to something. Let's say you've written a book and you want it to do the back cover copy for the book. You could go to both of them and see which one you like better.
Beautiful, beautiful. By the way, that was a great presentation. We still have lots of questions to go through. So you're still good with time?
Yes, I am.
Beautiful, beautiful. And guys, if you guys want to ask more questions, please feel free to put in the chat below. We also have the website, www.aiauthoradvantage.com, which you guys could see along the screen. If you guys want to go ahead and enroll with Peggy. By the way, I took many notes. I was seeing Tammy and Mina backstage just taking notes. There's so much great content that you've provided. Another question that we have is, do you think we need a book to be known in the market?
No, you don't need it, but it helps. Like, as soon as you say, I'm an author or I've written a book, especially if it's in the field that you're in, then people just automatically assume, well, they must be an expert, even if they don't read your book. And I remember Bob Proctor, Tammy, you probably remember this. Bob Proctor used to introduce me, and he would say to people, you don't even have to write a good book. You could write garbage, right? And I was thinking, but I don't recommend it because if someone does read it, they could talk. And so, no, you don't need it, but it absolutely helps. As soon as you say, I'm an author. Now, what's even more impressive is when you say, I'm a best-selling author or an international best-selling author or a New York Times best-selling author. It's a credibility builder. And it causes people like prospects to feel a little more relaxed, knowing that they're going to work with you. It's like when I look at Mina's screen there with Start With Me, who am I? I mean, she's talking about, the concept of self, the identity that you have for yourself. Like, how do you define yourself? This is a very important aspect of success, very important aspect. So if Mina's going to be speaking or teaching on that subject and they see that she's an author, wow, she must know what she's talking about. Instant credibility. And I love that you're using it that way, Mina, because it's a great way to use it, to like I have my books behind me on my shelf, and this shelf are the translations of my books as well. I don't have all my books here on my shelf, but I have many of them here. And it's impressive. Remember, even, like Ruth, you have a daughter, and it inspires kids too. Like I remember with my son, we were living in Elmer at the time, and my son had come home from school with a couple of his friends from his class. He was going to a school called Alliance. No, was it? No, that's not it. Nouvelle Frontière. And it's a French school, but it's an international school. They teach French. Well, it's all in French, but they teach Spanish and English too. And my son, Michel, he went to French school his whole life. He's very, very French. In fact, his preferred language is French. And so he's in our living room, our family room, actually, with a couple of his classmates, and they're speaking French. And I could hear one of the kids say to Michelle, like, did your mother write all those books? Because they were in Russian and German and Italian and in French and English. And I heard Michelle say, oui. And he said, she speaks all those languages? And, what it does for my son is I believe it inspires him to do more with his life. His wife's now an author, an international best-selling author as well. So, I mean, answer the question, no, you don't need to. But since it's so easy to do and it can provide, I mean, it's good for you, good for the world, good for your business, do it. Like, why wouldn't anyone do it?
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. I think you've answered one of the questions, which was, do you write a book in different languages as well using AI?
No, I don't suggest you write the book in another language. I would suggest write it in, like, okay, so this is important. You understand this, is that if we look at what are the most languages spoken online, because we're talking about the internet here, right? And we now have 6.2 billion people. No, is it 6.2? No, 4.9 billion people online. 4.9 billion people are online. Now that's out of the 8 billion people that are in the world. Now we've got, third world countries. There's some places where they don't have internet. There's children, my granddaughter's 2.5. She's not online. Oh, wait a minute. She is. She watches Elmo. Anyways, 4.9 billion people. The number one language online is English. Mm-hmm. So I suggest write your book in English. The second language is Chinese.
Oh,
it's Chinese. And where's French in that? I don't even know if it's in the top 7. Might be. I can't remember, honestly. Usually it surprises people when I show them, because this is all part of my Epitome Author program. It's in there. I show them. So I suggest do it in English. Now, if your language, like I work with people from Holland, I work with people from many different countries in the world, and they want to write in their native language. Well, I don't teach in any other language other than English. So all my courses are in English. They're not in other languages. So you need to speak English or understand English to take a program that I'm offering, which is great. And your biggest market is in English. So you write it in English. Then what do? Well, then you make it a bestseller. You make it an international bestseller, make it a New York Times bestseller. And then you know what? The foreign rights publishers will chase you. They'll chase you. I have never, ever, ever written any of my books in any other language. And they're in almost 40 languages in the world. But many of those translations came with a payment. I was paid to have my book put into another language. I didn't do it. I didn't do the production. They paid me. They bought the rights. And then they translated it into the language. And as that book sells in other languages, I get royalty checks. That's why I have no clue how many sources of income I have, because I have so many books in so many languages. I have an app now. The Power Life Script is an app. And this is what's great about the world we live in. There's no end to where it can go and how much you can be earning from understanding how to effectively use the technology that's available to all of us online.
Beautiful, beautiful. Another question that we have is, are you using Open AI or Chat GPT? Or was it, the difference between
those two? Chat GPT is Open AI. It's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I forget what the GPT stands for. I don't remember. I could go to, wait, hang on. Let me go to AI and ask her. That's all we need to do is just go to AI and say, excuse me, what is ChatGPT? Okay.
Actually, another thing that I love that you said is that I do feel like I'm speaking to a human as well when I use AI, because did I serve you okay? Is there more that you need? I guess
I know.
The answer. You actually add a little bit of, I wouldn't say emotions, but a little bit of concern or service. So I think it's great. Beautiful.
There we go. What does ChatGPT stand for? ChatGPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Generative refers to the model's ability to generate text. Pre-trained indicates that the model has been trained on a large amount of data before being fine-tuned for specific tasks. Transformer is the name of the architecture that the model is based on, which has been a foundational component in many recent advances in natural language processing. So it's generative, pre-trained transformer.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Another question that we have is there any copyright issues with AI?
Yeah, well, what's fun about AI, and I say fun because I have a good attitude, is that they're going to have to figure out the laws of this, because right now it's kind of loosey-goosey, right? And it's just like the wild, wide west right now. Everybody's out there and they're just doing their thing. And is this copyright? Is it not copyright? Where are they getting the information? And some people are getting bent out of shape because they think that it's stealing from them and whatever. So as far as if it's your ideas, your content, and you're just using ChatGPT to perhaps just expand on the ideas or elaborate or rewrite what is already yours, it's still yours. Like ultimately it's your content that you're creating. It's like with I'll give you a really simple example. When I hired a ghostwriter to write a book called Your Destiny's Switch, and I paid her $25,000 to write that book, her name is not on the cover. My name's on the cover. Peggy McColl. My stories, my examples, my wisdom, my experiences, my strategies, right? She wrote it, but based on the content that I gave her. And so she just took my stuff and put it in a format that's a written book, but my name's on the cover. I hired her and used her. It's like anyone that works with either a book architect or a editor, and there's a number of different forms of editors as well. There's some that can do a lot of the work, or some that can do a little bit of the work. And do their names go on the cover of a book? No, it's yours, your content. So you can still copyright protected. I think what they're going to have to do is determine how much of. But if you just went to ChatGPT and said, write me a book on, and had nothing, like no creative idea. I mean, you have to come up with the initial idea, but it wrote the entire thing. Yeah, you're probably at risk somewhere, somehow. that it would end up just being public domain stuff, perhaps, but they haven't identified all the rules and the guidelines, similar to the internet. Like, remember when we were at the event and someone had asked, could you send us everybody's email address? And I said, I can't, it's illegal. Like, I can't do that. I can't, give away my database. They created rules around that. But in 1997, it wasn't illegal. Of course, it wasn't even available in 1997, but probably 2003, it wasn't available either. But it got to a point where they realized, oh, we need to create some laws around this, or, some governing bodies. So they created this governing body that's going to govern what you do online. That's why we now have disclaimers. That's why, you've got things at the bottom of your website that protects you. So this is the idea behind it. They will, AI, it's not even that it's new, to be honest. AI has been around a while, but it's just become more visible. Now more and more and more people are using it. Now more and more applications. Like, I subscribe to a newsletter called There's an AI for That. And I get this newsletter almost every day. And every day I look at it and I see what's new, what's exciting. Because I love trying these AI tools. I love using them. Why? Because I want to use them. And if I like them and they benefit me, I'm going to tell my students about it. I'm going to tell all my clients about it. And so that's one of the fun things that occurs sometimes when we get on our weekly calls for our author program, is I get on there and I tell them, hey guys, you want to know what I did this week with AI? And I'll show them, different tools, etc. So it's just going to evolve. So right now, I don't think the governing bodies have really clearly identified, what's right, what's wrong, what's copyright. And so it's really is like a wild, wide west right now. So I'm not doing anything illegal, nothing. It's all legal. As a matter of fact, that you asked that question, Ruth, I had a meeting with my attorney before I released Today is Cash. I told her exactly what I did, how I did it. Is this legal? Am I doing anything against the law? And she said, absolutely not.
It's like, he's like, okay, well, you probably like, okay, so easy. Is it, am I doing it right? Is it really,
Right.
is it that easy? Right.
Yeah.
I think it's great. And I never looked at it that way. They are like somewhat could be a copywriter, right? They could be not copywriter, ghostwriter. Sorry.
Right. Or even a copywriter.
Copywriter. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I hired this guy, and I gave that example. I think I paid $287,000 to one copywriter in less than 2 years. I swear to God, that's what I paid him.
Yeah.
And, so should I be giving him, credit for that? No, and so I use the OpenAI now. Like, if you go to any of my sales pages, go to the AI Author Advantage. AI wrote that. Right?
It's amazing. Yeah, now some of them, it's you could pay as minimum as like $3,000 per word for copywriter. So AI definitely transform the way that we see things. Beautiful. There was another question asked, which app did you use for your photo? Remember when you went from this and that? Which app did you use for this photo?
I don't remember. I don't remember. It was, I know I teach it in the class because once I used it and did that, I put it into my class materials. I don't remember off the top of my head. It was an AI photo generator tool. You could probably find it by doing a Google search.
Yeah, I find that cool, Peggy, to be able to use that.
I know, it's great. Like I hire, and here's the thing, like, does it replace humans? No. I mean, well, in a way, I guess it does, some tasks, but I still hired a professional photographer to come to my home recently and do a shoot, and like go out to the bridge that's behind my home and take a photo and, stuff like that, stand in my living room, my dining room, my kitchen, my office, and things like that. So, it's not that you're going to replace all these people completely. Although I will say that I haven't hired a copywriter since. That's definitely someone that has, but you know what? This is what I also believe in. I know you guys know this, like, there's always a way to earn money. And if somebody's in this business and they're either a ghostwriter and they're starting to feel the effects of AI, screenwriters, like, think about the screenwriter strike that was on, right? And how, pissed they were about AI. I don't want to get into that fight. I don't want to go there, but I understand how they can be upset, but it's not going away. It's not going anywhere. And, there's, some people that have lost their jobs because, some of these places had to find solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And what are some of the solutions? Well, AI. Now, does AI replace all our screenwriters? No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that they will. Does this mean AI is going to replace ghostwriters? No, no, I'm not saying that either. But it can help. It can contribute in a big way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Absolutely. I think the ghostwriter can use AI too in order to enhance their
Right.
job.
Right. Absolutely, Mina. There's a positive attitude right there.
Another question that we had, when you were showing Align Now, you show that you could also do website. Can it also do funnels as well?
Oh, it can write content for the funnels. That's what we do in our business. Absolutely. Can it do the page, the web page? Sure, I suppose. That was just a standard. I don't know even know what format, maybe WordPress. Like I have the front page of my website's on WordPress. My blog is on WordPress. And I did that for SEO, search engine optimization. Apparently works better with WordPress than ClickFunnels, but I also use ClickFunnels. So my funnels are all in ClickFunnels, but the content that we put into ClickFunnels comes from AI. But we use either templates that we've already designed or developed, or we'll create it. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Couple more questions. You talked about the cause and effect. Can somebody ask? Can you elaborate a little bit more as to what you mean?
Yeah, there's a natural law of the universe, and I suppose Tammy's going to talk about the laws tomorrow. There's a natural law of the universe called the law of cause and effect, which is it's the law of sowing and reaping. What you put out, you get back. If you're a good person and you do good in the world, good's going to come back to you. If you're a bad person, you're doing bad in the world, bad's going to come back to you. I mean, that's the simplistic understanding of it. And so, like, I feel, and I know all of you ladies feel this way too. I feel we're here to serve. Like, that's why I was put on the planet. I'm here to serve. I don't even have to work anymore. I work because I love what I do. I'm madly in love with what I do because I know it helps people. I know that it serves people. But what it also does is it has a ripple effect. Like, if Ruth is out there in the world and her book is out there and her coaching is out there and she's making a difference in the world, and if I have somehow helped her, that's a beneficial thing because she's helping others. It's good in the world. It's going to come back. It's going to come back to her. It's going to come back to me. And that's just the way it works. It's not why we do it. I do what I do because I love it and because my life has transformed. I mean, I literally came from a very poor, dysfunctional, abusive environment to living a wonderful life, a very happy, opulent, incredible, blessed life. That doesn't happen by accident. It's cause and effect. I did the work. I moved into action. I continue to study. I know how important it is to have the mind right all the time, not sometimes. And I'll never, ever, ever stop studying, ever stop studying. It's like, Tammy and I had a really great conversation about this when we were at the event a couple of weeks ago about health challenges, right? And both of us have gone through pretty significant health challenges. And there, not everybody goes through those and is sitting there like her and I are today, feeling healthy and feeling great. As a matter of fact, I had a friend, and I say had because he died in June, who had the exact same cancer that I had in his tongue and in his neck. And it started in his tongue, went to his neck, and he didn't get medical attention soon enough. And then it went everywhere. And he passed away. He was younger than me, and he passed away in June this year. Now, I really believe a big part of the reason why Tammy and I are here today. Now, I can't speak for Tammy, but I'm sure she'll speak for herself, that we're here today and we're healthy today is because of our mindset. Yeah, she's nodding in agreement there.
Absolutely, 100%. Even last weekend, I was at a cottage and I was talking about the cervical cancer that I had in September 2021. And the girl next to me, she goes, our friend that just passed away, that's the cancer she had. And I'm like, no, I didn't know. And honestly, I don't know the stats on that cancer. I know nothing about it because I refuse to go read on it,
Yep.
to have these thoughts overwhelm my thinking and my feeling, and then I can't focus and visualize and bring in what I want, which
Right.
was health. So
Yep.
I'm like, I have no clue, what the information is on there, and I don't want to
Good.
know, and I'm not going to see. And
Brilliant.
it's not being, my son said, "Mom, you don't be in English.
Yeah.
I don't know if
The sand.
yeah, exactly. Don't put your head in the sand." And I'm like, I'm not putting my head in the sand because whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But I'm
Yes.
protecting my thoughts and my feelings
Right.
because I know the creative process is from my thoughts and my feelings.
Right.
So if I go get all the stats and number of people that die, I said, honestly, I thought no one died of cervical cancer. That's,
Right.
how much I don't know about it.
Yeah,
So
and that's good. That's exactly where you want to stay. Like you've got to build that. Like when we're talking about the cause and effect. Like the effect is we're both healthy and we're here. I didn't go look at the stats either. In fact, when I was at the last oncologist appointment at the Ottawa General Hospital, which was about a month ago, my oncologist said to me, "We don't need to see you for 6 months," because the first year, because it was 2021, I was diagnosed with metastatic cancer, and they said for every 3 months you're coming to the hospital for a checkup. They're going to check you and do a scan and all of that. And then the next year it was every 4 months. And then when I saw her in August, she said to me, "I don't need to see you for 6 months." And I said, "I was thinking about not seeing you ever again." Like, seriously, I don't need to see you ever again. I like her. I really like the doctor, and she likes me, and we have wonderful chats, when I go there. I just make it a social visit. I'm just going for a social visit, right? And so cause and effect means that I was focused, even though I may have gone through a challenging time the whole time, the entire time, I was focused on, I am healthy. Every cell of my body is perfectly healthy. That's all I saw. That's all I believed, even though, going through what I was going through. And the story too, Tammy, it's the same thing, right?
And when this was the second time that this came into my life. So, when they announced it to me, I said, just give me a moment. I pulled out the book, the Dictionary of Ailments and Diseases, and I'm like, what's going on in my life
Yes.
that I'm causing this? And then you go read to see what's going on in your subconscious. And I was in a job that, I really appreciated because I was coaching now corporately.
Yep.
But inside of me, I wanted to be free. I wanted to break free. But I'm like, I've been here for many years, the benefits, the pay, all of that. And when I started reading, and it's like, you are trapped in your own mind, in your own body, because you don't have the courage to pursue what you truly desire. And then I closed the book and I said to my husband, I have to quit my job.
Yeah.
It's not the people. They are amazing people, an amazing company. I appreciate them, but it wasn't for me. I wanted to work full time and coach people who are hungry for change, who want this, so I'm like, this was a gift in disguise. I needed to learn. I needed to get off that negative frequency that was like, well, I appreciate my job, but why can't I feel it more?
Right. Yeah.
Well,
and that's a great example too. I sort of look at it too, not from a judgment place, but how did I attract that into my life? Not from a why me. I didn't go there at all, but obviously there's a cause and there's an effect. And my husband and I had purchased this multi-million-dollar property a few years ago, not that long ago, a few years ago. And it ended up being quite the experience where it was kind of like there was a movie made years ago with Tom Hanks called The Money Pit. And this home became a money pit. It was an award-winning custom designed home. But what we didn't know is that people had neglected it. And even though we had had an inspection done, I thought my husband read the inspection report. He thought I read the inspection report. Neither one of us did. And it was all in there of all the things that were major things that were wrong. So it was a rather interesting experience that invited and we allowed stress to come into our life. And I just feel that's what it was. It was like you get squeezed, and I was stressed. I was stressed at that time. And then we had another property and it got flooded and all these weird things were happening. And so it is what it is. You harvest the good, you forgive the rest, you get on with it.
So
right?
I know we're going to have questions on what is that book. So I just wanted to show everyone this is the English version. I have it in French and in English because, it's so important to understand mentally what's going on that is causing these disease and ailments in our body.
Yeah, like Louise Hay,
Yeah.
you can heal your life. She talks about that too. You got a problem with your foot, could be that you're afraid of stepping into the future. She does the correlation between body parts and where there could be an issue.
I actually shared that book with my mother, well, my mother-in-law. Well, I have two mother-in-law, and she's going through cancer right now. So I love that the way that when you guys are speaking, you guys are making it sound so easy,
Yeah,
right? Because you had the teaching, because
right.
you had the knowledge, because you understood the law of attraction, the
Right.
importance of conserving your mind. But there's so many people out there. Yes, Tammy, they just asked for the book and title of the book. You're right. So, it's very important. It's very important. What you guys are talking about is very important. I know you guys are laughing about it, which is great.
Yeah,
Anyone is going through that or in a stressful situation, it's very, very important to really guard your mind and all the
yes.
information that you put in it. So thank you for that.
You know what, Ruth? I think it's important, because some people look at those that have accomplished things and they think, oh, it's just all easy. No,
Mhm.
it was hell. It was hell. Like, and I'm sure Tammy can relate to it. Oh,
The fight.
lots of.
It's like, no, I got this. I'm going to be positive, and then it's like, what if I die? So
Yeah,
the
for
first
sure.
time it was very much like that for me because I wasn't around Bob yet. So the first time I had surgery at the Princess Margaret Cancer Center in Toronto, and it was for my pancreas. So that turned out good. It was at the pre-cancer stage. But that's where after that, I went and I signed up with Bob, and I'm like, I studied in psychology. I know it starts with my thoughts, but I need help here. So it was really, so the first time I totally agree. I didn't react. I wasn't Zen. I wasn't like, oh, what's the gift in disguise? Because I didn't understand at that point yet
Okay.
that
Okay.
everything starts with our thoughts, that,
Right.
it comes from us. So I was in a total panic. But
I
after
was
that,
very relaxed. Right from the beginning, I was relaxed, and I
but
just
the second time
yeah.
I was relaxed. Yes,
But it's
because
still
of the,
challenging. It's still challenging, and but I listen to my Power Life script every day, multiple hours a day. And what was great about being, flat out was that what else can you do? I wasn't able to get up and go anywhere, so I just, I ended up buying an extra set of AirPods because I, burned through the 4.5 hours that the battery would last, and I get another pair, and then get the manual ones that I can plug in, and I'd have my iPad, iPhone, laptop, whatever it was that I could plug into. I was just feeding my mind, and feeding my mind, like saturating my mind. And that's what you got to do. It's like put in the good, out with the bad.
yeah.
Well, sometimes disease happen into your life is kind of in numerology. When you look at your past life, is a karma debt. So you have a karma debt in your past life, and this life you have to repay it. And once you know your lesson in this life and you learn it and you go on with it, then that disease will disappear like instantly, kind of. So that is what I know about numerology, but it's some kind of a karma debt that you have to pay at that moment in time. And if you understand your lesson of this life, you pass over it.
Yeah.
I love having so many different perspectives. It's amazing. We've got two more questions. In the meantime, Tammy, they've asked you what is the name of that book in French, the one for the disease.
Mhm.
While you get that, one of the questions that was asked. So this is that the same one?
So this is the French one. It's from Jacques Martel, and it's Le Grand Dictionnaire des Malaises et des Maladies.
Okay.
Le Grand Dictionnaire des Malaises et des Maladies. And the English one is also Jacques Martel, but the ailments of diseases from Jacques Martel.
Beautiful. All right. So there's, I think, two questions. I think they are aligned somewhat. So one of them is what is the importance of fast tracking, and the other one is how fast can we write a book and have it published.
Oh,
I think,
I love that.
yeah.
Woo-hoo. Well, I mean, how fast can you write a book? Good. Well, that's up to you. Set a date. Like before AI, I wrote one of my books in a day. I got up at 3 a.m. I started writing. I just said to myself, I'm going to write a chapter an hour. And by the Sunday evening, I was done. Now, I didn't know that was possible before I started, but I set the intention and got on with the work. When I decided to write my first fiction book, I gave myself 10 days. Now, I'm a busy girl. I got a busy calendar. And so it wasn't like I had 10 days wide open, but I blocked off hours where I would write. And I got on with the work and I stuck to my discipline. And 10 days later, I had Savvy Wisdom written. And it was a phenomenal product. I created the attitude of success. I saw it as easy. I saw it as phenomenal as far as an end result. And I saw it being fun. And so I developed that attitude. So I got the first fiction book done in 10 days. So how long does it take is, and I'm going to answer the fast track question too. How long is up to you? You set a date for completion. When would you love to have it done? When would you love to have it done? Would you love to have it done this month? Set the date to have it done this month. If you want to have it done before the end of the week and it's Wednesday, it's 1:31 in the Eastern time zone and you want to have it done by Friday, you could have it done by Friday. You have to know what you're doing though. And I would suggest get some advice, get some guidance on that. But it really works to the line, work will expand to the time allotted. Allot the time and get on with the work. If you find you need longer, take longer. If you find it happens faster, great. Now the fast track, what's the benefit of fast tracking? I love the question. I love all the questions. I think they're all great. I'm a fast tracking kind of girl. I mean, that's just who I am. If there's something to be done, man, I'm off. In fact, when Denny, that's my husband's name, when Denny and I started dating, he was a pilot in the military. He worked for the National Defense, the government of Canada, and he was a pilot. And we start dating. And he says to me, he said, we're so different as we're getting to know each other in the beginning. He said, we're so different. I said, what do you mean? He said, if you decide you're going to do something, bam, you're off. I mean, you've taken off. You haven't charted the course. You don't have a backup plan. You're sure exactly how you're going to get there. If you have enough gas to get there, you're just going, right? And he said, with me, if I'm going on a destination, I've charted the course. I've got a backup plan. I'm trained in case of emergency. I know how long it's going to take there. I know what I need to get there. It's all calculated. It's all done. And I thought that was kind of a funny analogy because he was right. Mm-hmm. He's right. I don't need a backup plan. Backup plan means that you're planning to fail. Mm-hmm. I don't have a backup plan. Backup plans are for, I hesitate to say it, but a weak. Now, I don't mean that as a negative thing or as a judgment thing, weak in mind, right? Just a not knowing that you can build the strength. You can build the momentum as you go. And you don't have to know how. You got to be willing to be vulnerable. You got to be not a perfectionist. Like I think perfectionists have, any of you three ladies are perfectionists? I'm not, by the way. Are you a little bit, Mina? I think the perfectionists have a little more of a harder time with this because they want everything right? They want it to be perfect. You got to be willing for it not to be so perfect. Now you can perfect it, you can clean it up and make it better. But I think the biggest benefit to fast track is results. It's about experiencing the results sooner than what other people will do. Mm-hmm. People definitely underestimate what they can do. I know they do. I know they do all the time. I love to, not push people, but inspire people into action to get things done faster than what they thought they could. And sometimes they just buy my belief in it. Like, if you think I can do this in a month, okay, I'm gonna buy your belief and I'm gonna get on with the work, and on they go. So I think the biggest benefit is especially with what I talked about today, faster track to earning money, faster track to getting it done. So those would be the biggest benefits.
Money loves speed.
Yeah.
Yes.
On that note, I want to thank you. Actually, I will be taking on this particular course that you have. Actually looking to write a book with my daughter. I want to write a series. I want to write a children's book, and I want to do it with AI.
Perfect. Great idea.
I'm looking forward to that. And I also love what you talked about. AI is actually the financial freedom. To creating
Yes.
tech millionaires. So I love that. Um, any last notes that you guys want to share, Tammy and Mina?
It's so amazing. Thank you very much, Peggy. I learned. Actually, I know a bit about AI when we build this event. We use AI too for our funnel.
Right on. That's great. I love that.
It took me a day to write it, and I showed it to Ruth, and Ruth put it on, with the assistant, her assistant, and we wrote the funnel in what, like
That's awesome.
2 days, kind of. Anyhow, but still, I learned something from you today. Especially your thing with the photo. I love it, and of course, the AI is there to help us. It will help us to go faster because, as you said, money, it's speed.
Yeah.
It loves speed. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening for today's event, go and seek for help if you don't know about AI or you don't know how to write the book. I can assure you, Peggy is the one for that because I took her book for my book here, Start With Me. And she hold us by the hand and step by step. She has the whole course of author, how to write it. And beside that, you have a lot of resources in her program,
Hmm.
not counting that you have her personal coaching with you, like every 4 days a month, right, Peggy? Like four
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. 4 times a month. Yeah.
So you have a chance to work with her personally and connect with her. That's how I connected with her. So I just love it, Peggy. Thank you very much for taking the time for today, and we appreciate you. Thank
Oh, such a pleasure. Thank you, Mina. Like I really, it just puts such a big smile on my face to see, people out there doing this kind of work and the difference that you're making. And I love the idea of what you're put together here and how you're serving people in wonderful ways. And I love the energy of all of you. You guys are amazing. And it was such a pleasure to be with you here today. Thank you. I really appreciate the invitation.
Thank
you.
you.
Sincere thank you for being there. And, I want to also, for sure, I'm taking a course with you. For sure, I'm doing a book. So that is guaranteed. But do you remember, Peggy, in 2019 when we were there? We had a training from people, there was people from marketing coming to give us as consultants. So it wasn't for the public. It was really just for the PGI consultants. But the condition was that every professional in other fields that came, they had to have done the Thinking into Results program.
Ah,
So one marketing girl was there, and then someone lifted their hand and they're like, well, do you think I'll be able to do this? Because, and then she turns around, she's like, well, it all depends on your thoughts and on your thinking. So then we all started to laugh. So, what I want to reiterate with you, you're not just someone else explaining, how to write a book.
exactly.
Because, we could ask AI, how do we write a book? And they'll tell us. I think
Right.
the biggest component that you bring is when Ruth said a while ago, you were next to Bob's hip. It's all the knowledge and all the awareness of it's also energy. If
So
you think
true.
you'll never do it, Peggy's going to show you, but I'm not good enough. I'll never be able to become a best time. You're going to switch their thoughts and you're going to get them in line with that, because no, it's not just about doing something physically. It's also our energy. And if their energy's not up, they're not going to be the best time,
So
New York seller but that's, the biggest thing I think that is so key and important from you teaching people how to write a book. You're getting to know how to write the book, your years of experience, plus the essential key is showing
right.
them the mindset.
It's so important, Tammy, the mindset. It really is important because it doesn't matter what you're doing. Like if this part isn't right, you're just going to struggle. You're going to continue to struggle. Likely won't get the results. And so I put that in everything that I do. It's because it's part of who I am.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you for mentioning that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that about you. You guys are all the same. I know that. I know how you recognize and teach the importance of having that right mindset. And the truth is, we all need the guidance. Like everybody does need the guidance and the lead. It's like, I think the person that thinks they got it all figured out is a dangerous person. I think you're in a dangerous place too. So, because if we're not getting better, we're getting worse. So that's
There's two of them. One of them that thinks that they know it all, and the other one that won't take the actual step.
right.
The next step. So those two extreme, right? You know it all, and you won't take the next step. So yeah,
Oh my
beautiful.
God, you're right, Ruth. So
Well
right.
Thank you very much again for your presentation today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter. For those that are in the VIP, we'll see you guys in a few minutes. Thank you again, Peggy, and we'll see
My
you soon.
pleasure. All right. Thanks, ladies. Have a wonderful
Thank
day.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Wow, great.